What's going on, everybody? So today I want to talk about the 5 books that have changed my life. Before we get started, you know how I like to start off my morning with a fresh cup of black coffee with the Get After It mug. Hey, all I gotta say is don't knock it till you try it. So anyway, let's go up to the home office and we'll get started. Back into the home office, of course, what I got with me, right? So anyway, I really want to talk about some books that have changed my life. Now, before I get started, I will have to say that I was never an avid reader. With you, the only time that I would ever read was because it was part of a school assignment. And even then, I would just skim through the words. It wasn't until after college that I started to enjoy reading. And one of the books that I read after college is The Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual by Jocko Willink. For those of you who are not familiar with Jocko Willink is a former U.S. Navy SEAL. And if you go on his Instagram, I put the link in the description to his page. He takes a picture of his watch, and every single day he wakes up no later than 4:34 a.m. just to get the day started. And he's one of the main reasons as to why I started waking up early, but I'll save that for another video. Now, the Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual is exactly what it is. It is a field manual. It's not a traditional book as you might think. And as you can see right here, easy text to read, pages are not that long. Honestly, it took me a couple of days to finish this whole field manual, and I'll be honest with you, this field manual right here is the ultimate excuse killer. I read the Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. I was one of those people who didn't care about anything. You know, I would sleep sometimes till noon. I neglected my health. I neglected my diet. I neglected just wanting to be a better version of myself. And I made every excuse possible that there is not to challenge myself. Now, throughout the field manual, Jocko does a great job articulating how we can navigate through all circumstances in our lives. Whether it's in our businesses, our families, health and fitness, he lays out a foundation of how we can stay on a disciplined path. One of my favorite quotes from the book says, "There is no shortcut. There is no hack. There's only one way, so get after it. Discipline Equals Freedom." Now, the second book that helped change my life is Extreme Ownership: How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. Now, whether if you're in a leadership role or if you're just looking to enhance in your own leadership skills, Extreme Ownership is a great foundational book to where you can not only learn about taking more responsibility for you or your organization, but as well as learning how to adapt and adjust and taking that responsibility despite any unforeseen circumstances. Throughout Extreme Ownership, we follow Jocko and Leif's journey in Ramadi, Iraq in 2006, which at the time was at the height of the Iraq War. Now, as you're reading along Extreme Ownership, you're going to come across a lot of military lingo. And for someone like me who has no experience in the military, it was a little difficult for me to read, but I still was able to grasp the general information that Extreme Ownership is all about. And not to mention, both Jocko and Leif do a great job not only incorporating the leadership principles that they learned, but also articulate it in a way to where the skills that they learned, you can apply it into your everyday business, organization, or just within your life. Simply put, Extreme Ownership is all about not only leading ourselves, but leading our actions. Now, it definitely goes more than just leading by example. It means you gotta take ownership of everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. If something goes wrong, a leader must take extreme ownership of his or her actions. And one of my favorite quotes within this book reads, "Extreme ownership. Leaders must own everything in their world. There is no one else to blame." Now, the third book that has helped me change my life is Cant Hurt Me by David Goggins. Those of you who are not familiar with David Goggins is a former U.S. Navy SEAL and former Air Force Tactical Air Control Party and served in the Iraq War. And oh yeah, how can I forget? The man also broke the pull-up record by doing 4,030 pull-ups within a 24-hour time frame. So it's safe to say that the guy is just a straight savage. Now, what I really enjoyed about the book is the art of suffering. And Goggins does a great job of incorporating how he had to suffer in his life to get where he is today. Because oftentimes, and I'm guilty of this as well too, we like to be comfortable. We like to do things that don't allow us to challenge ourselves. Through the art of suffering, we not only callous our mind, but it also allows us to take on any other circumstances or challenges that we may encounter in life. We are going to prepare ourselves. We are going to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So if you're at a point in your life where you feel like you're not challenging yourself, if you feel like you're just becoming complacent, if you know deep down in your own self-evaluation that you're not giving your full potential, I strongly encourage you to read this book, Cant Hurt Me. It's definitely an eye-opener, and it allows you to not only start implementing strategies to not only help you get out of your comfort zone, but embracing the suffering. And if I had to pick a quote that I enjoyed from this book, it's just short and sweet. And it says, "Denial is the ultimate comfort zone." Now, the fourth book that has changed my life is The Power of Habit: Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business by Charles Duhigg. So what I really enjoyed about this book is that not only is this the first psychology / science-based book that I enjoyed reading, but also the author does a great job of explaining what habits are, how they operate, and ultimately how they're wired in our brain. And what I really enjoyed the fact about this is that he includes scientific research and explains how habits are the way they are and why we do them, but as well as even has personal testimonies as to people who have a certain habit and as to why they do it. So I really did enjoy that aspect of the book. It kind of almost gave me a self-evaluation as far as like, why are some of the things that I do, whether it's working out or the certain foods that we eat. So if you're kind of looking at a book that's looking to help enhance or expand your mind in terms of psychology, science-based related facts, understanding, the aspects of why we do the things that we do, definitely check out this book. It was definitely a great read and I enjoyed every bit of it. Not to mention, if I had to pick a quote from the book that I really kind of speaks as to far as the overall theme of the book would be, when a habit emerges, the brain stops fully participating in decision making. And finally, the fifth book that has changed my life is Good to Great to Gone: The 60-Year Rise and Fall of Circuit City by Alan Wurtzel. Okay, so you may be thinking like, okay, Oscar, this book is like totally different than the books you have already previously mentioned. So how did this even make an impact on your life? Well, what I will say is that I first became interested in Circuit City when I was in college, because we actually had to do a case study for it in one of my business classes. So I was always interested in just trying to figure out like, how did at one point the largest electronics consumers retailer go bankrupt? So what I really enjoyed about the book is that the author, Alan Wurtzel, is not only the son of the founder of Circuit City, but as well as the former CEO of Circuit City as well too. And he does a great job of really analyzing every single business strategy and decision that ultimately led to Circuit City's dismiss. So you may be thinking like, okay, Oscar, get to your point. How did this change your life? And as you're reading the book, you start to see how the Circuit City executives really failed in terms of adapting and adjusting to industry trends. And they lost focus of their main target audience, which is their customers. So whether if you own your own business or if you're a manager or whatever the case may be, you don't want to do what they did, essentially. You don't want to start becoming complacent. You don't want to start ignoring your target audience. And for me personally, in my current role at my other profession, I don't want to fall into that same trap. I have people who rely on me, and not to mention as well too, I don't ever want to go into the point to where we just ignore any type of industry trends or we fail to adapt and adjust when necessary. So although what happened to Circuit City is sad, it's also a humbled reminder that even though that you may be at the top of your industry or the top of your game for an X amount of time, one little thing can definitely alter all the hard work that has been set for a foundation, for a particular company, business, or organization. And if I had to pick like an overall theme of the book in terms of picking out a quote, it would be humble, run scared. Continuously doubt your understanding of things. Business success contains the seeds of its own destruction. Worry about what the competition knows that you do not. That, everyone, are the 5 books that have helped change my life. I really hope that all these books served you well, and if it can make an impact in some way, shape, or form, that's what it's all about. That's why I make these videos. And again, any type of feedback that you can provide is greatly appreciated. I will also mention that I will put a link to every book within the description of this video. So if you do want to check it out, let me know if you check out the book, because I want to see if it makes a great impact on you just like it did me. So again, thank you all so much for the support that you're showing throughout this channel. Again, like I always say after every end of the video, I just want to get better. So again, any constructive feedback that you can provide for me is greatly appreciated. And I just appreciate your support. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.